Thank you very much for tuning in. It's Stuart here, Classical Record Collector. As you know, I frequent a lot of charity shops. I pick up a lot of records in charity shops. And there's a collector here on YouTube who decided to go out for the day and see whether he could find any records. He's not a classical collector. He collects, sort of pop and rock, that kind of thing. And I thought it would be interesting to follow him around because I can maybe make some interesting comments about his experiences and compare them with mine. So he actually is in North London. He starts off in Camden. He goes to Finchley and various other places, quite sort of affluent areas. So I don't know, maybe one would expect there to be some good records there, but let's see how he does. Let's go.
So Archway, and then ended in East Finchley, where I knew that there was going to be a host of charity shops along the way. The first row of shops being a road in Camden called Parkway, and our first target.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, just briefly, he's done exactly the right thing. He's going to those areas where he knows that there are a lot of charity shops. You can usually find out if you Google an area and type in charity shops, you can find out how many there are. If there are just one or two, it's not going to be worth going. If there are sort of 7, 8, 9, 10, then yeah, your luck might be in. It might be worth a trip.
It was Crisis, and as I walked in, there was a few boxes of records just sitting there.
Now that's what we want to see when we go in. That is beautiful. You want to see records at sort of chest height in a box, absolutely perfect. Sadly, in charity shops, mainly they're on the floor. You've got to grovel to find them.
They're by the front door.
Now, obviously, I'm looking for classical records. I noticed one or two and he flipped by them, but there were none there that I would have bought anyway. Yeah, I mean, look, there's Barbaroli. That's a Studio 2. I wouldn't have bought that.
Not what we were hoping for. No. I had a quick look around.
Oh, come on. It's only the first shop. You'd be really lucky to find something first shop, although, to be honest with you, last time I went out, I found a load in the first shop and hardly anything for the rest of the trip.
The shop to see if there were any more records, and there wasn't, so I left headed for...
That's always a good idea. When you go into a charity shop, I mean, you've got to go through... If you see no records, obviously, usually they put them where the DVDs are and the CDs, and you'll find them down below. You might look in and think, oh, there are no records here. It's best you go in, you go around the whole shop, and you look everywhere. And you don't come out until you've looked everywhere, and then you come out, and if there are no records, there are no records.
The next one. Next up on Parkway was Mind. They had a section of records right at the back, and there were quite a few, so I felt there could be quite a good chance of finding a little gem in there, even if it wasn't a Sam Gopal.
I saw Bach, Mendelssohn.
I did pause for a second while I looked at this one, because it was the same label.
Yeah, come on. Music of Handel and Britten. What do you mean it's the same label as what?
As I had a blues album, which is...
Yeah, so because it's the same, because Ace of Clubs is also used not only for classical music, you thought, especially if it said Handel on it, that it might be a record you're looking for.
Because Ace of Clubs label. It wasn't blues, it was classical, so probably nothing, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a fair number there. It's depressing to go through that many records and find nothing. Kenny Rogers. I actually go through records faster than he does. No, he's flipping through there. So I just saw, Grieg and Schumann piano concertos with Colin Davis. I wouldn't have bought that.
Now, as I started flicking through this next box of records, there was a worker that came up behind me and started noticing that I was actually recording the records. I felt a gaze on the back of my neck, so...
Yeah, well, that's a difficult thing. Obviously, as YouTubers, we like to give our subscribers something interesting, and that involves making film, making footage of going into the shop. I've actually tried to find something that I could do that in quite a covert way. I bought a pen cam, but it was absolute rubbish. It was just no good at all. So the only way I've been able to do it is to get my mobile phone out and film. And it's difficult actually filming with one hand and flipping through the records with the other. I've actually been into charity shops with somebody else who has filmed me, and that's worked quite well. But yeah, obviously, if the management there see you filming, you do get a bit of you get sort of negative vibes from them, which is completely understandable. And I suppose the only way around that is to say, look, I've got a YouTube channel, do you mind if I film in your shop? And they would probably say, yes, I do mind.
Even though she didn't say anything, I felt like she could go out the back and sort of say to someone, get this guy out. So I flipped through the rest of the records pretty quickly and had it away on my toes. I did see a Man album for £2 in there though, which was pretty cool. I quickly left and made my way to probably the most interesting charity shop on this hunt. Now this one is a cool one. This is a charity shop that specialises in music, but not only records, but it has guitars, musical equipment, merchandise, books, hi-fi.
Yeah, well, the problem is, I mean, a charity shop that specialises in records is going to be an absolute magnet for all the collectors around there. And I can virtually guarantee there won't be anything in there, A, because it's already been stripped out, and, I mean, it defeats the object of a charity shop. And B, the prices will just be too high. They will be trying to get top dollar for the items.
Anything music related is going to be there. Hello.
I mean, it looks
it's
like
run
a
and
cool
owned
shop.
by ex-Vibrators guitar player Knox, who you guys might have heard mentioned in our videos, because Papa Dave remembers meeting Knox quite a few times in Camden, and now he likes to collect all his Vibrators records. I have seen Knox lounging on the couch in there 1 or 2 times in the past. So let's have a look at the records. They're not £1 each, but let's see what they've got.
Elvis Costello. Now that's probably one that I would be interested in. I don't know if £12 is a good price for that record. I mean, it doesn't sound too bad if it's in really good condition.
And of course it's customary to have a look at some of the guitars on the wall.
Not for me, it isn't. If I go into a shop looking for records, I've no interest in the any musical instruments which are in there.
Might as well have a look through the cheap box, you never know.
Yeah, well, actually, to be honest with you, if I was in there, that's the first place I would look, not the last place.
Seems like nothing for me today. I had a quick look out the back where the amps were. And off I went, seemingly...
Now, I wonder what he's using there to film, whether it's his mobile or whether he's got some device on him.
leaving Camden without a record to my name today.
I know the feeling, mate, I know the feeling.
First location done.
But I mean, he's only been to about 4 shops there, and you know, I visited places and been to 10 shops and found nothing, so...
Yeah, it's turning out how I expected it to be, but you never know. On to the next.
On my way to the station, I just happened to pop in one of Papa Dave's favourite old haunts, a record shop that he used to stop off at on his days as a cab driver basically every morning. And lo and behold, look what I found on the wall. It's one of the top...
Yeah, £425. Well, okay, guess it's probably worth that.
top ones on my wants list. Comus' first utterance, and I did not expect to see that on today's hunt.
Oh, how I'd like to find that in a charity shop for £1. Never gonna happen.
Of course I'd love to find one for £1. If anyone's selling one, hit me up. So I hopped on the train to Archway to see if it had anything in store for us, where there is a charity shop called Second Chance. Barry Winton actually took me there on that fateful day where he showed us his 30,000 albums. Now the records were right in front of the counter, so I wasn't really able to record in there. It was a nice little charity shop, but I didn't find anything. It seems that Barry Winton might have had the best bits shortly before I visited the shop.
Wow, it really, really is dire. I need someone to tell me where there's some good charity shops.
It does bring your mood down a bit when you've been out for half the day and you've not found a single record. I feel his pain.
Last place now.
Last chance to find some records today was East Finchley, where there was about 4 or 5 different charity shops to visit. The first being Animal Aid and Advice, right by the station. Really crossing my fingers for this one. We recently got sent one of the best record cleaning machines on the market.
Oh no.
The Humming Guru.
Right. Let me just Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, that Humming Guru record cleaning machine, it retails for a cool £750. So, yeah, it's an ultrasound cleaner, and well, that's quite a bit of money compared with the method that I use. But I've heard that these ultrasound cleaners are pretty good. Anyway, let's continue and watch the end of it. Here we go. Now, Marla, yeah. Marla Symphony number 7 with Haitink. No, I wouldn't buy that, unless it was £1 probably. I like where the records are. Again, they're at chest height, easy to look at. Now, from a classical point of view, those actually look quite promising. I can see a lot of white spines there, which could indicate sort of Deckers, maybe EMIs, but I don't know. I mean, Joe Cocker, you don't often see something like that in a charity shop. So that's not bad, really. Some of these look quite unusual.
I suppose there was a couple of decent titles in there, but nothing you wouldn't find outside of a cheap box at a record fair. Just as I was about to leave, there was someone coming in and taking my place looking at the records, so on to the next. Thank you. Hello. Do you have any records?
Yeah.
I mean, at this stage, you know, when you've been to about 10 charity shops and you've spent several hours, desperation is starting to sink in.
Oh, Mozart.
Mozart, okay. Let's see.
Mozart's all right. What about?
I'm thinking Mozart. There's something that's definitely high up on the wants list.
Yeah, but not that. Not that great big 78 HMV box set. No, no, thank you.
It's very, very rare to find.
But I can see his master's voice, a French one there. I wonder what that is.
Especially in a charity shop.
Keep going, keep going. What is that? Oh, he flipped past it. I just saw Dvorak 7 there, Kertész, and this looks like the Elgar Violin Concerto. I can tell by the top of it, with Menuhin and Elgar conducting historical performance. Yeah, well, nothing there.
Thank you very much.
Only a few more chances today. It's really not looking good.
I mean, if you compare the start of the video, he's smiling and he's looking forward to the day. His face has dropped. There are no smiles now.
I've been able to find a single decent record, not even like a £5 record for £3. So, a couple more shops.
Wandering down the street, we're almost at the end of our hunt. Will it be a bust or will we find something? North London Hospice, please deliver for us. I'm thinking lots of records. This is promising.
Yeah, classical. That was a Beethoven DG set. I don't know what it was. I might have been interested in it, depending on the price. Perlman. That was a Perlman. Did you see that? I'm not going to go back, but that was a Perlman. I would have been interested in that.
Just as I was envisioning something like Agincourt or Focal Point to pop out at me, I was told some information that was one of the last things I wanted to hear on my hunt.
Do you ever go along to Allen's?
Yeah, sometimes.
Most of these come from Allen's.
Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough.
He donates every week. And I
There's quite a few classical in there.
Start bringing them down.
That makes
So
sense.
I probably would have bought quite a few of them.
Okay.
This stuff was originally from a record shop just down the road. That's that then. Not going to find anything in here.
Yeah, in other words, all the rubbish they can't sell. Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing about classical. A lot of record shops can't sell classical, so they typically go in the bargain bin. And they could end up in charity shops, so it can be a good thing for people like me.
After a sunny day out today, we're left with nothing but some good times. A charity shop still worth it for you?
Well, sometimes yes, and sometimes no. You've got to persevere. You've got to keep trying. But anyway, I hope you found that interesting. I like this guy's channel. I'll put a link below. I don't know if you've seen him before, and he's obviously a serious collector, but obviously he's not interested in my field at all, which is classical. So thanks for watching, and sorry that he had a bad day, but it happens. But if you keep trying, you will find something sooner or later. Bye for now.